AOC, she's weighing in on this whole United Healthcare thing. And of course, they all want full-on subsidized socialist-style healthcare. It's something that's a passion of Warren's as well. And so we're seeing them come out and react sort of in funny ways, because on the one hand, you got to be sympathetic to the fact that the guy that was murdered in cold blood is a father, is a human being, and yet they're all out there kind of acting like, well, he kind of had it coming because the health insurance industry is so lousy. I'm sorry, that's not how we do things. No, that's how Antifa does things, okay? That's how the radicals do things. We actually vote people out like we just did, and we're about to vote you out, AOC, and we're about to vote you out, Elizabeth Warren. But here's AOC saying, okay, I'm not condoning violence, but watch.
Taken from a diagnosis. And I think that this collective American experience, which is so twisted to have in the wealthiest nation in the world, all of that pain that people have experienced is being concentrated on this event. And it's really important that we take a step back. This is not to comment, and this is not to say that an act of violence is justified. But I think for anyone who is confused or shocked or appalled, they need to understand that people interpret and feel and experience denied claims as an act of violence against them. People go homeless over the financial devastation of a diagnosis that doesn't get addressed, or the amount that they're going to have to cover with a surprise bill and things like that. And when we kind of talk about how systems are violent in this country, in this passive way, our privatized healthcare system is like that for a huge amount of Americans. I mean, I did not have health insurance until I got elected to Congress. When I first ran for Congress, I had to sit in a free clinic while waiting.
Okay. I think we've heard that story before from her. So she didn't have health insurance. I guess the bartending job didn't give you health insurance. And what happened to Obamacare, AOC? I thought Obamacare was going to solve everything. Apparently it didn't. Apparently it made the situation, believe it or not, worse. So I think the problem here is, while we can have a realistic and worthwhile and healthy debate about how do we solve for these insurance companies, you have a few too many people out there sort of suggesting that somehow he had it coming to him because he worked at a health insurance company.
We've been talking a lot about this Luigi Mangione.
Let's go forward. Here's, by the way, Joy Reid was doing the exact same thing. Let's listen to Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. And what happens when you turn this into the billionaires run it all is they get the opportunity to squeeze every last penny.
Yeah.
And look, we'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health. But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so there, is this a threat? It almost sounds like a threat, like Elizabeth Warren's like, okay, well, this is what you got coming to you. And of course, you get the View piling on as well.
There are things we can fool with and things we can't. Healthcare is one of those things that you shouldn't be able to fool with. And insurance companies who you pay, I pay into my insurance, you pay into your insurance. I don't understand. If I don't go to the hospital for a whole year, where's my money? Why don't you give me the money back? Then you don't have to worry about it. Because I feel like, I said this, okay.
We got Bill coming on.
I know we got Bill coming. But
apparently she doesn't understand how the insurance industry works. Okay, so the insurance industry works by hoping that they have more healthy people they're covering than sick people. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, but to link these two, that's where we're getting into some sketchy territory. This stupid former Washington, I mean, she's stupid too, right? The ABC lady, the Whoopi Goldberg, I mean, the things that come out of her mouth, it's clear there's not a lot of connectivity up there, but this one is really giving new meaning to the word ditz. She goes on with Piers Morgan. Some of you, if you watch the show, you've seen this because I played this before for you, but I'm blown away by it because she talks about how joyful she was when this guy got killed. And you just have to remember, this is the sentiment of these lefty, anarchy-driven reporters, members of the media. This is not good.
Facts. Let's move to the other story because Taylor's been waiting patiently here. So this issue of Brian Thompson, one of the top healthcare executives in the country, I'm just curious why your first reaction would be to his cold-blooded execution. And people wonder why we want these executives dead. And then you later commented when people were giving you a lot of blowback, I'm not alone, you said. Healthcare executive down with party balloons was on an next post that you commented on. Why would you be in such a celebratory mood about the execution of another human being? Aren't you supposed to be on the caring, sharing left where, you believe in the sanctity of life?
I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy at a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No.
Way to go, Piers Morgan. I say she's ditzy, right? Because what a choice of words. And then when she's asked about it, yeah, okay, maybe not joyful, but certainly lack of empathy. You gotta have some empathy. He's a husband, he's a father. Can you not have anything to feel for somebody? Is it fair that he was just gunned down because we don't like? Okay, how many things do we not like? Do we just run around and just knock people off because we don't like the way things are? No. Okay, that is not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. And what's frightening to me and scary to me is this reminds me of the Trump attacks, right? We don't like Trump, therefore we're just going to bash him and bash him and bash him and warn everybody he's the next Hitler. And then, maybe somebody will do something crazy, which, by the way, was attempted twice. And they can justify it in their heads. And that's what's, I think, really putting us in a treacherous, dangerous spot.